We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for the Top Gun Sales Bootcamp training. Let's dive in. Nora, what you got?
I had 27% yesterday.
Cool. Anything else you got?
Not right now. No.
Kenny, what you got?
Um, Luke, with the lead internet guy, so we have a guy that we work with, partner with for lead internet leads. Do you have the numbers? I know yesterday we talked something about that, like him designing another additional website. Do you have the numbers for our performance up to this point?
Yes.
Nice.
So, I like in this here, it's pretty like the Life GPS is it's magical. I mean, it is absolutely magical. And so when you look at these things here and the decades of thought that's gone into them, like being a great team member, so that's the introduction. And then it talks about claim unclaimed territory. And then it talks about the internalization. And then it talks about trust the integrity of the system. I think people race through these and they don't understand the significance of them. And I don't know how to help people understand the significance of something. Like Tom, he's, in his mid 70s, and he tells me when I was 15 years old, when Alvin went ahead and said, when I was 15 years old, or when I was 7 years old. So for me, when people, I don't know, are older than 50 and they're thinking about when they're a child, that's pretty significant. Although for each of you, I think the same thing is true. I think when you're thinking of when you were, a child, that's significant. And so, did I learn my lessons? Did I make a radical change? And I don't know, like we were talking in the previous session about listening and communications. And so there's a system out there, there's a system out there for that, but are people using the system? So we have this one right here is WIFM. What's in it for me? The concept of selfless selfishness. And so this is supposed to prevent people from being self-righteous. How much business do we lose because we're self-righteous? We think we're smart, we think we're good, we think we're something when we're not really. And then consistent and committed, drive and discipline, clear communication. And so, like, I share this story and it seems like nobody gets it. And it's like, am I telling the story wrong? Do people just not want to get it? Um, am I just an outlier, just weird? And people just so from the age of 23 to 27, I worked for Preferred Mortgage Associates. You guys know that story. What's interesting about Alvin Miller and Tom Coons is they will listen to a story more than once and they will pick up nuances, differences, different pieces. So in the 4 years that I worked for Preferred, went from 100% straight commission sales to regional manager, marketing manager, and then VP of sales. How many times did I have to be told twice to do something?
Once.
Actually, zero. I had to be told once to do something twice. I'm sorry, I had to be told twice to do something once. So I remember, I remember very specifically, we did a radio ad. We'd never done radio campaign, like never done a radio campaign before. And we were on the radio. It was really cool. And I don't know how many thousands of dollars. It was pretty steep and it generated leads. And so I gave, so I went ahead and gave the leads. I went ahead and did a box free. So I air trafficked it. And so we have box one, identify targets, develop and deliver messages, generate leads. And the president of the company came to me because I went ahead and thought the salespeople were like me, like they would go ahead and treat other people's money like their own money. Unfortunately, a lot of times people don't treat their own money really well. It's pretty interesting. You can tell a lot about a person based on how they treat their equipment, resources, tangible things, cars, trucks, sanders, nail guns, everything. You can tell a lot about a person by how they treat their own things. And then do they treat other people's things just as well? Are they just sloppy? Do they just damage things and whatever? Or do they treat their own things really well, but they treat somebody else's things not so well? You can tell a lot about the character of a person based on that. So I thought all the salespeople, when I gave them the leads, I thought that they would all handle those leads really carefully and make sure that they followed through. So I'm, again, probably 25 or 26 years old. And the president came to me and said, Mark, how well are the salespeople following up on the radio leads? I'm like, I think they're doing really good. He's like, are you tracking that carefully? He asked me once. 25 years old. And he says, he wasn't angry, wasn't mad. He's just like, Mark, are they following up with their leads well? I said, I think so. He says, you need to make sure. He told me once. What was my feeling at that point?
Don't know, what was your feeling?
I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. I mean, like, are you kidding? How can I not know that? Like, how can I not know that? Like, why do I have to be told? Like, man, am I stupid? I don't deserve this. But I got to step up my game. I've got to make sure this is just, you're an idiot, Mark. You are an absolute idiot. Do you guys do that?
Sometimes.
Cool. More you do it, the more success you'll have in business, life, marriage, everything. This is just, I don't know how to train people other than try to go ahead and do this. Like, I don't know how to, I don't know how to go ahead. I don't know how to train people in these things. So what triggered that story? It's going to be the spreadsheet from Luke's tracking of the marketing. And so Kenny followed up with him. That's good. I didn't have to follow up with him. So that's good. When I get that spreadsheet, what's going to happen? See, you guys aren't studying yourselves. You don't know yourselves. You're not paying attention. You're not self-aware. I feel bad for you guys. Like, you guys don't know what happens to yourselves. You got to study yourself. You got to understand, why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? Why am I doing the way I'm doing? Like, what am I doing? And so Luke's probably going to whip something together And he does pretty good on spreadsheets and pretty good with data. He's done a great job in the accounting with the help of, Compass Accounting. And so he's done a great job there. Kenny does great work at times. I mean, he does like really good with the tracking and the other stuff. It's like, dang, man, you guys are good. But I'm anticipating there's going to be things that I'm going to go ahead and see, and I'm going to correct those things. And I'm anticipating nobody's going to even think anything. Like, yeah, that's what Mark does. He comes in and I don't think there's going to be the response. Crap. How does he do this? Like, how does he see stuff that we don't see? Like, for crying out loud. Like, why don't I get this stuff? Man, this ticks me off. I don't think that's going to happen. See, this is a character thing. It's character. It's a deep, deep, deep character. Probably, I don't know what it was, 20 years ago. I'm like, Rosanna, honey, how would you rate me as a husband? 41 years of marriage. Now, 20 years ago is 20 years of marriage. I'm like, how would you rate me as a husband? I think she said like an 8. I said, okay, what would be one thing that, what would be one thing that I could improve on? She says, well, you kind of leave your clothes on the ottoman in the bedroom. Copy that. Then I followed up a few months and fixed it. Followed up a few months later, and she kind of, I said, ask her the same question. She says, well, you kind of reverted back to leaving your clothes on the ottoman. What's fascinating, I didn't explain anything to her, but I thought, why am I doing that? Like, why does she have to tell me twice? Like, I'm a machine. I am seeking to be the best owner in the world, the best leader in the world, the best husband in the world, best father in the world, and the best grandfather in the world. I am a machine in how I operate. I don't have to be told twice to do anything. And you know what? I shouldn't have to be told once. I should know my wife and the people around me. I should anticipate what they need before they need it. That's how good, that's character. That's deep, deep character. Like, it's the little things. Most people just dismiss that and, well, they have all these reasons. They don't get it. Like, think about it. 4 years, and he remembers, like, there's 2 things that he had to be told once to do. He has a standard for himself that is so high that he still beats himself up. Over 30 years later, he remembers that specific memory and how frustrated he was. The president wasn't frustrated with him. He's just, like Mark said, 25-year-old, like, he's not going to see her. Like, he wasn't upset. And I get upset at myself about stupid stuff. So I learn faster so other people don't have to get upset at me. Like, it just makes sense. It's like, why? Like, I should be more frustrated with myself than anybody else is. That seems like a lot of work, Mark. That seems like a terrible way to live. So, questions. So I don't like that story. I don't like Tom tells stories, and I remember him. He tells me, like, he told me, I don't know, we've known each other for 20 years. It's probably 5 years ago. He was laughing on a podcast with me, and he's like, dang, Mark, how do you remember the stuff you do? Like, I tell you a story 7 years ago, I tell you once, and you bring it up 7 years later. How do you do that? Right, Tom? Better question is, how do I teach other people to do that? I think it's because I think life is significant. Like, really, really significant. Little things, you find out so many things about life. People are looking for the big things and they don't realize there's so much revealed in the little things. So the big picture is, how do I help you all understand and see this for yourself? Like, how do you raise your expectations for yourself? You expect more from yourself. It's pretty simple. Like, push yourself hard. As long as you understand you're creating God's image, in the image of God, you're amazing. You're not going to push yourself too hard. You just won't, because it never gets to the core. I mean, that's pretty simple, basic stuff. It's not complicated. It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. Because what we do in sales is we provide an economic engine for the rest of the company. What we do as business owners is we provide economic engine. And if we don't have those high standards for ourselves, how are we going to expect other people to have those high standards? Like, it's a standard of excellence. It's like, man, I have got to nail this stuff. I've got to be stronger, smarter, better today than I was before. Nice follow-up, Kenny. What else you got, sir?
That's all I got.
Luke, what you got?
So I had two leads that kind of deceived me. Whereas, like, I thought they were really hot.
Okay, so here's something. Here's something yesterday. I was playing pickleball, and I said to, we'll see if you can connect the dots. This is training for connecting the dots. And I said to one of my friends, I said, "How'd you do?" And he said, "Well, I lost in my last game. I lost because of my partner." And I said to him, I said, "Every game I've ever lost in pickleball, every game, 100% of the games is because of me." Questions, Luke?
No, that makes sense.
So what you're doing is you're being a victim. Do you see that or not?
No.
Does anybody else see it?
It's how the wording he uses.
Yeah. And the wording comes from how he thinks. So what it is if we don't take ownership of stuff, we give up control to somebody else. We give up control to somebody else when we don't take ownership. Yes, with some partners in pickleball, it is harder to win without question. So, but if I go ahead and think it's my partner's fault, I'm not going to grow. I should be good enough to where no matter who I'm playing with, I'm going to win. That's how good of a pickleball player I should be. That's how I should be in life. So, Luke, so going back to what you said, do you know, do you see it now or not?
Kind of, maybe. How could I have reworded that?
Go ahead, give it a shot.
Um, hmm,
So in sales, there's a saying I don't like, but I'm not saying it's not true. They say buyers are liars. I don't like it. So human beings are like, it's small children. They're they're sneaky little buggers. Like, they are sneaky. They are sneaky. You got to be smarter than they are. You got to see what's going on. Like, so what I would say is, yesterday, Mark, I had a couple prospects, and man, they're sneaky little buggers, and I didn't catch it. I did not catch it. So that puts the responsibility back on me. Like, Mark, you got to have a system, you got to have skills, you got to have the disciplines to go ahead and see these things, sense these things, understand these things, know these things. That's my responsibility. It's not somebody else. That's just human nature. Does that help, Luke, or not?
yes.
All right. All right. Keep going.
And And then I made myself really available, made something work out to get out there soon and do the presentation, and then they one of them went with someone else. And I was like, I wonder if there's something like being too available,
Oh, absolutely.
where it's like
Nice. It's
if
weird. It's weird. Do you know what personality that you're dealing with?
amiables,
Really? Are you sure?
no,
Why'd you say amiables?
I don't know.
Okay. My guess you're dealing with amiables. That's my guess. My guess is you're dealing with amiables. I didn't find this out until a year or so ago. I'm married to an amiable. I've said for 30 years plus, maybe 40, I've said amiables get taken advantage of. And just a year or so ago, I'm like, why do they get taken advantage of by everybody? And then it dawned on me, they're taking advantage of everybody else. The little sneaky buggers. Like, so you're probably dealing with an amiable. And so what the amiable does is the amiable wins people over. They're super nice and they get other people to be nice, and then they take advantage of people emotionally if you allow them to do that. And so there's the four types of sales. So product, service, relationship, consultative selling, and insight selling. So there's the four different personalities there, or the four types of sales rather. In relationship selling, this is why going out and talking to people, the amiable likes to go out and talk to people. It's funny when amiables want to talk to me in person. They think their charms will work on me. I have a wife who's an amiable. I have grandkids who are amiables. Like, yeah, it's not gonna, your charms are not gonna work so well on me. So what did you learn from that, Luke?
I gotta be aware of. I gotta figure something out how to determine where if somebody says they'd like to schedule now to come out, where if they're actually hot or if they're just manipulating me. I don't know.
So, do you know how you could do that?
Something with questions. Not sure. No.
It's questions and listening. It's your questioning skills and listening skills, and the most important skills is your phone skills. Remember when I said when you were pushing to go out and talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Yeah, you need to develop your phone skill. You have stronger phone skills, and you won't have this happen to you as frequently. It'll still happen, but it's not going to be as frequent." Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I've seen stuff from you and Kenny yet on the sales process. Do you guys have, questions? Maybe I have, and I don't know. And so the questions is it's the questions themselves. It's the order of the questions. It's like a phone number. If you transpose two numbers, you get a totally different destination. So you can ask the same four questions, but if you ask them in a different order, it produces a different experience. When you get to the level of experience where you can understand that, it is the coolest thing in the world. And then your tone and your voice and how you move things, all of that matters too. So it's the questions, the order of the questions, and then it's how you ask the questions. But maybe the most important thing might be the listening. So clear communications, this white paper, it doesn't work. Do you guys know why this white paper is so significant to me?
No, what's that?
It's because I wrote it when I was out at Tanglewood Conservatories. Jonathan and his new wife was out there with Melissa and Rosanna and I. And so the biggest challenge they were having as a team is communications. I met with, I don't know, 15, 20 of their team members. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I'm flying through this, the interviews going through, and the common theme was clear communications. So I wrote this white paper for them in clear communications, but it's not working. The white paper doesn't work. Questions? So question mark is interesting. Why would you say it doesn't work? Like, how do you know it's not working? Well, because people would read it, people would get other people around them to read it, and people would come back to me and say, Mark, it's not working. If it was working, you all would go ahead and read it, get everybody around you to read it, and then you come back and say, the white paper doesn't work, Mark. Then what would happen there is something magical. I'm like, right? This stupid thing doesn't work. So we would all then be on an equal plane. I'm not above you in writing the white paper or experiencing anything. You and I would play together like 3-year-old boys and girls play. We would play together, and I'm like, why do you think it's not working? I don't know why it's not working. Why do you think it's not working? What do you mean it's not working? Like, what we would do is we would struggle with that clear communication, and we'd struggle with it, and we'd come up with questions. Like, and we'd dig into it and go into it deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And the more you work, the more it'll work for you. The more of the other people around you, work, the more you all work at making these white papers work, the more they're going to work for you. But you didn't build it, you didn't write it, you didn't design it, you didn't engineer it, you didn't go through all the frustration. So you don't value what's in these white papers like I do because you didn't put the work in. But if you see the value of all of these things and the order of all of these things, you're like, huh, I could get more benefit. I could leverage these more. Nice. Anything else any of you all have? Okay, so great session today. Wow. I'm trying to be disciplined and not, I'm trying to be disciplined and not go ahead and say that, everyone's a favorite. But you guys are pounding out some really strong favorites to this week. And so good work on that. Push yourselves, push other people, get other people to go ahead and push themselves more. So you don't have to do it. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.